Right, we've just started. So, welcome to Rage Well. This is a podcast about films, TV, and what other shit James comes up with
General
randomly.
media.
So, I'm Kev,
Oh,
and
Kev, you've
joining
frozen.
me
This
is
is not a
Drew
good start.
and James.
This is
Hi, guys. Is that lame enough an intro?
Yeah, that was good, except you froze for half of it, so I
James
have no
hates
idea what
me
you
for
just said.
that. Cool. I know you hate me already for it. So,
Kev, do you realise that we didn't hear half of it because you froze?
That's cool. It recorded it. Don't you worry. Anyway, just letting everyone know, we're recording this a bit early, and we're gonna put it out a bit later, just so we've got a few under our belt. This is the beginning of February, so if a few of these are dated, apologise, but I'm sure they're still great films to think about. So, what did you watch, James? You
All
watched the
of Us
film recently.
Strangers, or whatever it's called.
All of Us Strangers, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Looks amazing. What do you think?
Shit. Total arse. Put it this way, I've watched some crappy films recently, like deliberately, and this one takes the biscuit. This one, it's like one of these. Without ruining it, there's like no. You know, when sometimes you get films and someone is like living their life, however their life, and they never really explain the whole situation and just leaves it open without
Right.
giving away the spoilers, because the spoiler is the problem with the film. What it is, it's
So yeah,
like,
don't tell us that bit.
it's like they've tried to be really artsy, and it's a film for production for starters. And they just tried to be a bit too clever, I think, and it's a bit wishy-washy. And the acting's okay, but there's very, very long periods with like no dialect. It's like one of those films. There's only really 4 actors in the whole film. There's actually only 4 characters in the entire film. And it's kind of set in like, it kind of confuses it, because one minute it's like set in dystopian London, the next minute it's like really busy. Like there's no real, and when you watch it, when you see, you figure out the twist pretty early on. They kind of give the twist away, like they tell you it like 20 minutes into the film.
Well,
But then the actual main twist,
I've got it from the trailer.
Yeah, the main twist, you kind of guess halfway through the film. And then when it's like the big reveal, it's very like nonchalant. A bit like, you remember when everyone was going on about The Walking Dead? And this is controversial, because I thought that was stupid, because that starts the very first episode. Guy wakes up in hospital, no one there. Wanders around, no one there. Then he walks to his house, and he sees like this like half zombie crawling towards him on the floor, and he has like no reaction. He's like, oh, fair enough. And just carries on his day. It's just like, what? There's no, no.
Well, that's it. I mean, All of Us Strangers is meant to be, it's not meant to be like a film about, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see it on Wednesday in 2 days' time. I'm excited about seeing it, but it's not meant to be a big whodunit, a big reveal. It's meant to be kind of more of a romantic film, and he goes back and sees his parents, and they're the same age as they were when he last remembers them.
Yeah, if anything, it's basically, well, you say he sees his parents, so you know he sees dead people. Well, there's no explanation as to why.
Yeah. Wait,
there's no explanation to that.
I think it's all his imagination, isn't it? It's not.
Is this
yes and no? Because
but
they're like making him dinner and stuff.
Is this one with Jodie Comer in?
No.
It's got a guy that looks like Mark Ruffalo in it. He's Irish, I think.
It's got Andrew Scott, who's sexy priest in.
Billy Elliott's in it with a really creepy moustache.
In Fleabag. Paul Mescal, who's going to be in the new Gladiator 2 film. And Jamie Bell, who's like 5 years younger than Andrew Scott, playing his dad.
Billy Elliot.
With Billy Elliot.
Yeah. And he was in Filth as well with James McAvoy.
He's got a really. When was the last time Jamie Bell did anything?
He's done a few smaller films.
Well, this is definitely small, because it is absolute arse.
Wait, are you saying he's got quite a small role in this?
No, there's 2. The whole film's set around one person.
Yeah.
And then there's
Andrew Scott.
The 3 other cast probably have equal screen time. It's not the sort of thing you want to watch with your mum.
4 guys? Is it 4 guys? The main characters?
It's the woman. There's a woman in it who I can't
guys
think of
and
her
the mum.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mum's a famous actress. I can't remember. What else has she been in?
Claire
Because I
Foy.
recognised her.
Yeah, from The Crown.
Yeah, she's from
I've never
Crown.
watched that.
Plays Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
Okay,
what else
They
are
all
you
do a
doing?
good job of acting.
I'm
but
guessing you wouldn't recommend watching this. Are you saying you don't
No.
recommend watching it?
if I'm honest, I would say it's a straight to TV film. It's not a cinema production. Like, it's the sort of thing you'd see on Film 4. Not something you'd
Well,
pay
it's the
to
sort
go
of
and
thing that
watch at
people are getting
cinema.
awards for.
Do you
Yeah, but
think
people
it's
get
on,
awards for all
it's
sorts
on
of shit,
cinema
don't they?
just because of the way it's shot? Like, is it?
It's not shot very. It's
But
not
is it
shot
like
any
the
special way.
cinematography? Like,
It's
would
not
you
like
say that
visually. No, I
it's
think
not?
the cinematography is average. It's not like Blade Runner. It's pretty
Yeah, but I don't.
plain.
Yeah, but it's not about that. Like, but comparing this with like Avatar would be ridiculous. It's not meant to be about that. It's meant to be a slow romantic story.
It's
about
very so. I wouldn't even
two
say it's
men,
very
and then we can go
romantic.
back to.
I tell you what, it sounds like.
It's
It sounds like
daydreaming.
closer. It sounds like closer if that was based on a gay couple, basically. Have you seen
I think
Closer?
they've tried with the cinematography, but I don't think they've pulled it off. I've seen
Oh,
bad films
Closer.
before with great
Yeah,
cinematography, and there's some pulling off in that film, but the cinematography was not one of the things they pulled off. Just each other.
Okay.
For example, a
Did it have a
film
happy
with
ending in the
incredible
middle?
cinematography, basically anything that Nicholas Winding Refn films, he makes awful movies. For example, Only God Forgives and Neon Demon. Terrible films,
Whoa, whoa,
but
whoa!
visually
He made-
stunning.
he made
no,
Bronson.
no. This is not a
I said he-
consensus of the pod. I
I'm
love
only
those
saying
films.
the two bad
made
ones
Bronson
because he
as
also
well.
made Drive. He made Drive, which is amazing. But that was also the
I
last
mean,
good film he made.
you got a thumbs up on your screen.
Yeah, why did the bubble come out of your mouth? Like you've been like eating Instagram soap.
Oh,
It's obviously got AI in
He's
it.
just showing off now that he's got tools.
Have you seen
Ah.
Only God
A
Forgives?
tool
It's
with
kind
tool.
of
yeah. I mean, not for
Only
a while.
God Forgives is
but,
kind of it's visually amazing, but the story is so stupid.
well, I
and-
agree. They're kind of pretentious sort of films, but I do quite like
Neon
them
Demon.
occasionally.
Neon Demon
Yeah,
is a really bad film.
Oh, I
But
like that.
he did Drive, and he did. If you think of Drive and Bronson, two of the best bits of cinematography I think maybe ever. Especially Bronson with the soundtrack. Like, I mean,
So-
the guy gets his soundtracks down an absolute charm, but
Someone told me a really funny thing with Drive. They said that if you'd watch the trailer of Drive, it's the film without the slow bits. Pretty much. I don't know if people have seen.
you two are both
I
frozen,
enjoy
by the way.
Drive though. It's a slow burn.
Can you repeat that,
What?
Joe? You said if you've watched Drive, then it all went quiet.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
really?
froze for a sec.
Yeah.
You said
Oh,
if
wow.
you watched the trailer for Drive, what?
Yeah, if somebody's told me if you watch the trailer for Drive, that's pretty much the film without all the slow bits.
Do you want to know something really cool? Zane Lowe rescored the whole film with current artists like Bastille. Who did
What film are you on
Block
about?
Party, Drive? Zane Lowe rescored
No
the whole
way.
film, and it
Weeknd.
completely changed the movie.
The Weeknd would have been sick on that, like some of his soundtracks.
Well, he wasn't around at the time, but they had mainly sort of indie rock music on
Fair
it
enough.
rather than the 80s stuff. So it was like Block Party, I think Bastille. It was on iPlayer for a long, long time, but I think it's probably quite hard to find now. But it completely changed like the film.
Getting back to All of Us Strangers, right? Would you say, because I remember you were saying there wasn't much dialogue.
There's no.
So-
Some films like Drive has hardly any dialogue and long period, like when he's in the lift scene and like doing the groceries. But it's visually impressive. This isn't. It's filmed in a
Were you
street in
forced to
London.
go on this on a date? Were you forced to go on this on a date?
No. She said it was the worst film she'd ever seen as well. We were going to watch Argylle, but the timings didn't really match up. So it was either hang around for 2 hours or watch this. So we sort of shot for the moon, went in there, and it was crap. There was 5 people in the cinema.
I think we all have our niches of what type of films we like. I think I would enjoy that. I kind of knew you wouldn't.
I think the end will annoy it just ends with you not knowing why the whole thing happened.
I
Like,
reckon Drew will
no
like it.
explanation.
I think it's more about the acting rather than the film.
It's
I think
not
it's more
great
about
acting.
nuances. Yeah,
It's
but
BBC acting. If you saw that program, if you saw
Yeah,
that,
but
and that was a
the,
two-parter on, a
that new
three-parter on
Jodie Comer
BBC,
film-
you'd be like, huh?
yeah, But that new Jodie Comer film that came out in the cinema, I think that's BBC as well. And it was a BBC one, and it should have been straight to TV. But they're throwing things in the cinema every now and again, and it's
Well, that's
working.
because Marvel and Disney and that aren't bringing anything out anymore.
Good. Sod them.
I think it's
Don't
good.
want
I think
them
we need a break.
bringing out
We need a
tons.
break from the land of
Blade's coming
superheroes. I
this
think
year.
it's good to have it's like I remember when I went to the cinema to see Shame. Do you know what I mean? And it feels like these are in that kind of ilk. Do you know what I mean? When I saw the
there's some
trailer
good-
for All of Us Strangers,
I haven't
It
seen the
felt a
trailer
little
for it.
bit
Maybe I should
shame.
watch the trailer.
Mm.
But I can tell you now,
Yeah, the
it's just not good. Like, if there was an ending to it,
do you know what though? Like
I reckon
Moonlight.
when we speak next week, I reckon I'll have a different opinion. I might not. I might go, damn it, he was right. It is awful. But
the whole
I'm
thing's
pretty
annoying
hopeful
because
about
there is no resolution, and I don't like films that have no resolution.
I don't mind it.
yeah, leave an
I
open
don't
ended.
mind it if it's ambiguous. But
Do you like Pet Shop
then you go
Boys?
onto those YouTube channels afterwards and you watch the breakdown or the hidden meanings.
Yeah,
and
but I
these
don't want
things.
to have
love
to
stuff like
watch
that.
a breakdown to know about a film. I'd rather be able to
No,
get it from
because-
the film.
I don't know, no, because I like it because it creates conversation between an audience. Because then it means
Do you
you're
like
split,
Pet Shop
because then
Boys?
people are saying, "Huh?"
Do you like the Pet Shop Boys?
I know you're going. Yes, it's on the soundtrack. Yeah.
No, it's the
I don't know
only
if
song. They play Pet Shop Boys the entire film.
That's an interesting
It's the
choice.
only good bit about the
If it's
film,
to do,
actually.
if it adds to the film, then brilliant. But
No, it's the only good bit of that
loads
film.
of
You can watch the film with your eyes
loads of
closed and enjoy it.
Tarantino films don't have any conclusions, and they're genius pieces of
Name
work.
one.
Yeah.
Well, all of them, pretty much.
Pulp
They all
Fiction.
have engines. Kill Bill,
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction
Fiction.
doesn't. The
Loads-
endings out of sync because it's all the narratives all
Yeah,
mixed up.
and if you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, although
Watched
there
that
is
the other day.
although there is an ending to it, there's also still not an ending, and you could watch about 5 hours of behind the scenes footage about the stories behind all different characters. So much information going on
But I
there.
didn't
that's
watch that
not
film and then
explained.
finish being like, oh, like while watching the last episode of Game of Thrones, it was like, this is stupid. Like, I watched it and thought it was amazing. By the way, fun fact about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know the flamethrower scene where he's like, ah, shit, that's really hot? You and Leo
Yeah,
is
that was
firing a
real.
flamethrower. Yeah, that was real. Yeah, that was him actually saying, ah, shit, this is really hot.
Yeah. I've watched hours and hours on that film. I know all the things about all the things on that.
There's loads
So-
of
Did you hear
things.
the-
so
DiCaprio
interesting.
Did you listen?
DiCaprio
Did you
has
listen to
bad
the Joe
moments
Rogan
on
podcast?
Tarantino sets.
Did you
He's
hear the
the
Joe
Tory,
Rogan
doesn't know who to
podcast?
listen to.
I don't know. You both
The-
asked a question at the same time. Can you hear, Drew?
Just
I can
about.
hear. Yeah, can you hear?
Well, if you want to
Go
watch
on, then.
something, watch the Bruce Lee bit in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that he got some criticism for.
Yeah.
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan's like, "Oh, what do you think about obviously people's opinion on you making Bruce Lee look like a bit of an arse sort of thing?" And he was like, his reaction was, "If you're Bruce Lee's daughter, yeah, fine, whatever. But if you're anyone else, you can just go suck a dick." He's like, he said, I couldn't get less about your opinion. Go suck a dick.
Well,
That's brilliant.
he's infamously a bit of a. I mean, I love Bruce Lee. I'm like always into martial art films. Grew up on him, but yeah, he had quite a big ego as well because he was a foreigner coming over to America and had to try and make his name, so he had to fight for it. And sometimes he was a bit of an arsehole, but he was a genius. So, and
And I had
tons
another
of
random
actors
fact.
are.
You know, in Dragon, the Bruce Lee biopic,
I love that film.
how does he break his back? Gets his back broken doing something.
I can't remember now.
You know, he
What
has
is
to
it?
go on that sort of chair thing that sort of does all this. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fixes his back. He's doing an underground fight with like elders around watch him, and that guy kicks him in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, now how did Bruce Lee break his back in real life? And you'll never
Go
trust
on.
another biopic again. Lifting weights in the gym. So he completely
I've heard a lot of people say
fabricated
that.
that whole like underground fighting thing just for the movie. And since then, I've never believed like any of these biopic
I mean, that's
things.
not particularly real. Yeah, I mean, a lot of biopics these days fabricate things as well. Like even Oppenheimer is not strictly true, and what Rocket Man with Elton John wasn't strictly true.
Yeah, but
And
they have to do that, man, to create
Makes
more of an
sense.
interesting narrative. It's a story. They're trying to make it into a drama. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it will
Yeah,
feel
but
like
when it's
you're
like
watching,
based on actual
like
facts,
a
it's
history
like-
documentary.
well, it's not. I
exciting
never
news,
claimed to be.
Terrifier 3 's coming
But,
out.
like Have you watched? Have you guys watched Elvis?
No, I don't like Elvis.
I watched 3/4 of that. Yeah,
Why? What?
I like the
What's wrong
actor.
with you?
it was very strange. I don't know. No, I'm
Elvis
loving
is
it.
incredible. There's loads of factual things that happen, but there's loads of fabricated things that are not fabricated. It's something that does happen, but not the way the film shows it, because it's trying to be entertaining and visually stunning. So
That's exactly.
so a thing happens, and that is what happens in real life, but they've made it this colorful, spectacular. The scene on the Ferris wheel when he's chatting to him. Clearly, that didn't happen. He just had a chat to him somewhere. But they had to make it look entertaining for the camera. So, yeah, I mean,
It's beautifully shot though.
artistic
I mean,
license.
Baz Luhrmann is a fucking genius though. So
You remember that
Yeah.
song he sang? Not remember Baz Luhrmann's
Baz
number one
Luhrmann
song?
doesn't sing.
Yes, he does. He's got a number one hit.
Yeah. I
think
keep thinking Flat Eric, but it's Sunshine. No, Sunscreen. Sunscreen.
What?
Wear
That
sunscreen.
literally just blew my mind. I thought Baz Luhrmann was just an amazing director, filmmaker who just added a lot of music and incredible choreography.
Yeah, most of his stuff is kind of musical related. So most of his films, he's released an album, like with Moulin Rouge, that fell flat. But the album and Christina Aguilera and that, I was listening to a podcast today about it. That song, Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Yeah.
That song gave it legs and boosted the DVD sales. So it fell flat, and then that song carried it and brought the momentum and made it a big hit.
Wow.
Sunscreen was him, though. I'm pretty sure he got to number one for some time. And it was just him talking about the benefits of wearing sunscreen.
Yeah. He's done a.
It's not even a song, it's just him talking.
I know. I remember that song. It's a good song.
I need to check that out.
You remember it, Drew?
No, I
It's
don't.
an absolute
What?
wear sunscreen.
Where have I been, man? Maybe I'm secretly Batman. I've been hiding in a
I need
cave.
to try and find it.
99? 2001? 99?
Probably 90s.
Wait a minute. Could you play
99.
stuff and we can hear it and react? So you could play it now.
I
No.
can play a
You get kicked
section.
off YouTube and
There might
stuff.
be
Yeah.
rules. There might
You
be
can't.
rules
If
about
you-
playing.
Um,
Yeah, like what? Like 20 seconds before.
Yeah, I
No,
think
you can't
if
play
it's
any
under
of it.
30 seconds, you don't have to pay for it.
No, you can't. Don't risk any of it. 'Cause
Really?
I've put videos before on LinkedIn with music I found, and they're like 20, 30 seconds long. Within like 5 minutes, you'll get like a thing saying
Okay.
you need to take it down.
I'm
In that case,
sending
James,
you to Drew. Drew, I'll
James,
I'll message it so you have it.
James, if you just recite it for us, if you just do a little bit of it.
You can't. It's literally some going. Yeah, it's warm outside, so make sure you wear sun cream. Blah 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 blah. Just chatting.
We've fallen down the rabbit hole a bit. Let's go back to all of us strangers, right?
Well, no. Let's finish that because James
No,
has
we've
got one
finished
opinion
that.
on
We'll
that. It's
talk about
crap.
it more
Okay,
when you
okay, fair
guys see it.
enough.
If you
Okay.
haven't killed yourself
What was-
after you've watched it.
Right. So let's stop that one. Drew, what have you watched anything this week that you want to mention?
His neighbours through the window.
Could be TV.
Griselda.
Oh, okay. That new
Griselda,
Netflix.
man, the Netflix thing with
Did you see the?
Sophia.
Sofia Vergara. I
Yeah,
don't know how to pronounce
Sophia
it.
I didn't want to
Vergara,
butcher her name, but we both managed to butcher her name. Mate, she is amazing. The crazy thing about it was, you know, the character she plays in Modern Family. She's almost playing like a comedic version of some kind of like cartel, ex-cartel, like
Yeah.
wifey or whatever. She literally has brought that into fruition, and like she's an absolute badass. She's so cool. I absolutely. Have you seen it, James? I absolutely love it. Like it's incredible, man.
No, but
it's
I tell you
up
what I
there
have
with
seen.
Narcos.
I've my partner Sadie, she started watching it. I didn't even get a chance to say, "Do you fancy watching this one?" I just saw her watching episode 2. I was like, "Oh, I missed that boat then." I'll have to watch it on my own at some another time.
Yeah,
Drew,
man. But it's
Drew,
it's
have you
really
seen-
good. We really care about it. Like, it's
Have you
really,
seen
really
the backlash that Netflix have got because of the marketing campaign for that program?
good. Well,
They release an advert, right, of this obviously like CGI or AI lorry, and on the lorry's towing a trailer that says whatever the program's
it's
called,
sniffing
Giselle,
cocaine.
whatever, and it's got a massive pipe
Yeah.
in the front of the thing, and it's going snorting up all the lines on the road.
oh, that's genius.
Have you seen it? Have you not
Just
seen
watch,
that?
put the program
genius
title and
advertising,
write advertisement. Yeah, they got loads of
Yeah,
trouble
and-
for it. I think they took it down.
Yeah, I saw
But
that.
it's
That,
obviously
I mean,
everyone
whoever
shares
came
it.
up with that pitch idea, that's so clever because it is all about, they're just moving shipments of cocaine across, such and such. That's
Yeah, people
really
just got sex. It was like glorifying like drugs and stuff. Which
Yeah,
whatever. I thought it was brilliant.
the big red Coca-Cola lorry.
at Christmas.
Yeah, imagine that, but purple with the words Grisella on it and a big like snorting pipe, and it just driving
Going down the
slowly,
middle of
going
London.
hoovering up lines on the floor like the dashes in between the two lanes. It's genius. But that's
Yeah, that
it.
is
Even if
genius.
it gets
Pointless
banned or they
fact,
get in trouble, it highlights the film or program and gets loads of interest. So it did its job.
It literally did its
Controversial or
job.
not.
Well, that's the thing, though.
True.
Sometimes they were saying, what is it? Any news is, or any
Press is
exposure is
press.
good exposure. Even if it's gone south, the fact that they're kicking up a fuss, that's still
Yeah.
great exposure.
Have you
'Cause we
finished
just
the
mentioned it.
program?
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. It's a mini series. I thought it was
how
going to
many
be a lot longer. I
episodes?
was hoping 6.
Oh, that's all right. 6 hour
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it feels that things are going now. Just because I don't know about people's, attention span. So it's like miniseries are really, it's like what was it? The Last of Us was kind of a miniseries. Chernobyl,
That was a video
things
game
like that.
one, wasn't it?
I feel, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the way it's going now, which is kind of good in a way that you're not having to invest like with like Sopranos or The Wire or bigger shows like that back in the
Yeah.
day, that so many, or 24. It's like, think how many episodes there were. People literally felt behind. They're like, oh man, I got to go home and do some homework, which was like watching seasons. And that's
But
where
that's
I
it.
think
A lot of these
Okay.
series these days are like 10 episodes or 8 episodes, and it's brilliant if it's great. But I'm one of these people that if I start something, I've got to finish it, even if it's not brilliant, just in case it changes and gets better. So it's like really
like a
long.
football match. It's like 1 minute they're losing, and then after the second half,
Yeah.
they
But some
equalise
series
or
are
win.
like that. You have like a really slow episode in the middle, and you go, "Oh, maybe this is crap." Give it another chance, and then it puts it
Yeah.
into continuity and makes it, explains why it was important. So yeah,
We'll make
I'll throw
Talking
that out
about
there.
TV
The first
shows-
episode of Game of Thrones, I was completely unfazed by the whole episode because I'm not really into like Dungeons and Dragons and things. But when they pushed the kid out at the end of the window, I was like, okay, now I have to see what happens.
So now
I'll
that you
just
saw,
see
like,
what
kids'
happens.
violence,
And then
GBH
5
children
seasons later,
got you into Game of Thrones.
have we all seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, man.
oh please God, yes.
Again,
Worst
I'm like James.
ending to a show
Dungeons
ever.
and Dragons and shit like that sounds like the worst. I never wanted to watch it, but it was in lockdown. I thought I'd give it a go, and I'd just smash through the entire 6 series in like a month or
Yeah,
something.
I mean-
eight series.
8 series. I did that in about a
The
month or
wheels
something
came
from
off when
not
they ran
wanting
out of
to watch
books. Well, the last series or so, there was no books for that. They had to
George
make it
R.
up,
R. Martin.
and that's when it got
books.
bad.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like they completely
Yeah.
ruined it. The last episode was maybe might have been one of the worst things I've ever seen on TV. Like you had 8 seasons of people fighting and killing to become the king, only for them at the end just to be like, "Would you all do it? You all right?" They just decide that Bran gets it, and they're like, "Oh," and then they all just walk off. It's the stupidest ending ever, isn't it? So dumb. But the episode
Yeah.
where Khaleesi basically turns into Hitler and just starts killing everyone with the dragons. Everyone that called their kid
Spoilers.
Khaleesi had instant regret.
Episode
didn't they?
1, and we've already brought in Hitler.
But you know what? Everyone was calling their kids
brings
this
Khaleesi and
Hitler?
Daenerys and stuff, and because she was really nice, and then she ended up
Oh,
being
this
like
was-
the worst, like maniac ever.
Oh, it's reversed. You
that?
can't really see it, but it says
I
this
can
is
see
when
it.
that's when Game of Thrones is really good, and then it's like a 4-year-old drew it.
It's not reversed.
Yeah,
I
the
can
last
see that the right way
episode
around.
was so bad.
Okay.
Well, so is
Similar
anyone,
to
shall I talk about the
Breaking
film I
Bad,
saw?
actually. That started slow.
Yeah, man. What did you see?
Right.
Yeah, was it good?
So, yeah, so I go to the cinema quite a bit. I saw 2 films this week. I saw Argylle. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it's not
Does look
great.
good.
It's one of those films that are just loads of action, loads of comedy, kind of pointless, just like Sunday afternoon watching. Or to be honest, it's cinema. It's perfect for the cinema. I wouldn't wait to watch it on TV because it's not going to have the same impact. In the cinema on IMAX, it's just big stuff going on. Like the fight sequences are brilliant because Michael Vaughn's the director and the writer, and he did Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, Kingsman, all them lot. And I think Kingsman stopped being good. The first one was
Did he
good.
do Layer Cake?
I think
That was
yes,
Guy
yes,
Ritchie.
he did with Daniel Craig. Yeah,
Layer
he
Cake
did
was
that as
amazing,
well.
man, yeah.
So he's good at doing this sort of stuff. So this film was like really action
Guy
packed. It was
Ritchie
really
was
good
Layer
fun.
Cake, was it not?
No, it was Matthew Vaughn that did Layer Cake.
Mm.
Oh, let's have a little moment here. See who gets the
Yeah,
points.
he did Layer Cake. He produced Layer Cake and directed it as well. Yeah.
10 points to Gryffindor.
But the good thing about it is that a couple of people said it's slow at times, but it isn't. It's so complex. You need explaining. So there's a few bit down moments where they have to explain it. So the premise basically is that this woman's writing a novel about a spy, but that's not it. It feels like it's coming alive. So spy agencies try and kidnap her, and another spy tries to kidnap her to take her away for her to write the next chapter because it's happening in real life to kind of predict where a secret code or what they got like a USB with loads of informations on. But that's not the plot. That's what we're meant to believe from the trailer and what the premise of the film is. But then it changes, and I can't tell you anything else because all the people you think are good are bad. All the bad people are good. All the bad people are not good, but they are good at a certain stage, and then they become bad again. And the main character is like this woman who writes a novel, and she's really charismatic, really funny, but there's more to her, and I can't say anything more. It's so.
That feels like the writer had a split personality or a multi-split personality.
I can't tell you. Full of spoilers.
Fiction.
Go on.
Oh, when I was at the cinema the other day, I was looking at the poster for Argylle because it had like a giant poster, and the cast is incredible. The cast is ridiculous. It's like the biggest casted film I've seen in a long time. But then, if you say that probably cost them hundreds of millions to film that. In comparison to some of us, all of us strangers, I think the budget on that film is £8.50 at a push.
Right. So with Argylle, right. I don't think it's probably as big a budget as people expect because the CGI is a little bit ropey, but it's not a big deal. It's not important. I know. Wait for it. So from the trailer and from the poster, the film feels like it's a Henry Cavill film, right? He's in it for 5 minutes, maybe just under 10 minutes. But the big thing
trailer bait.
Exactly, but it's deliberate and it makes sense in the film. It doesn't feel like you've been cheated. It makes sense. He's in it frequently in very short snippets, but it's mainly about Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard. And I don't know if you know Bryce Dallas Howard. I didn't know this till recently. That's Ron Howard's daughter. From Happy
Jurassic
Days.
Park.
He's directed millions and millions of films. But Sam Rockwell, he's from the trailer. He's playing the real spy. And she's her fictional spy is Henry Cavill. So there's great moments where she's not daydreaming because there's a fight sequence. Sam Rockwell is kicking the shit out of loads of these people, but she's daydreaming and really confused. And every now and again she blinks, and it's Henry Cavill. So they basically had Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill do exactly the same moves for all the fight sequences.
That's
and
cool.
It would just go like that, and it would just switch. It would go Sam Rockwell trying really hard, and then she'd blink, and it would be Henry Cavill just smiling like I'm so cool at doing this. Where Sam Rockwell's like struggling to beat these people up, then it flips. Henry Cavill's casually doing it.
Two things. First one is related to Henry Cavill fighting. Can you remember in Mission Impossible when he punched a beard in?
Yeah.
He punches someone and punches someone and magically grows their legs so badly.
Yeah, but
shotgun arms.
That scene in the bathroom where he's fighting, that's brilliant because he's James. You have disappeared.
Yeah, my Bluetooth is gone.
That scene in the bathroom is where Henry Cavill had done this scene punching that guy in the face like 100 times, and they caught on film him just going like that.
Yeah, because his arms hurt.
Just loosen it. But it looked like he pumped it like shotgun.
Yeah.
So they kept it in.
Thing.
But because and to James's point, because they were filming that over like a week, There was one scene where he had a bit more of a beard and he had a shirt pocket, and the next one he was clean shaven and the shirt pocket disappears in the same.
Oh,
few
really? And you
seconds.
see that in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
film?
it's very obvious,
Briefly?
but you don't notice until you're told. James, did you
Yeah,
hear all
alright.
that?
Yeah,
I
I
was
did
going to
hear it
say,
all.
just
Just
going
that
back to
the music stopped coming out my headphones,
Argyle.
coming out my phone.
was one of the most expensive parts getting a cat that can act, because I mean the cat's got quite a big feature.
The cat's pretty much CGI for all of it, because everything it
Okay.
does, even when it's just sitting there, you can tell it's a CGI cat because they've got to make it scratch a person and do a thing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
otherwise they'd probably get the
Yeah, it's
RSPCA involved.
it's Michael Vaughan's cat.
Oh wow.
It's a direct. His wife is Claudia Schiffer, and it's her cat.
Ah,
By the way, I've just googled
That's cool.
budget for All of Us Strangers,
Go
and
on.
it says here, 2024 film, All of Us Strangers, blah blah blah, directed by da da da. It says here each cast member got a box of cheesy chips and a can of Vimto for their role in the film. There you go. That's what they got for being such a shit film. They should have been paying
you're
the
gonna get
director to
hate.
be in that film.
If anyone listens to this, you're going to get hate for that because that is a
I'm gonna
beloved
get-
film already.
I'm gonna get shit from
people are
Billy
loving it,
Elliot.
man.
That's what
It's
I'm
got
gonna
some amazing talent in. So
get. Billy Elliot.
But yeah, do you know? Well,
Twat.
I watched another film. Almost embarrassed to say what I watched.
All of Us Strangers.
Sometime, Anyone But You.
anyone but you. Is that one with Zac Efron? Oh no, that looked quite cool, man.
The one with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
What, you going on about that last time?
Well, no, I was going to see it. Now I have seen it. I saw it on Friday. So it's just a basic rom-com.
Yeah.
But it's good. I enjoyed it. It's not bad. I think my first impression of the first half of the film is a bit not slow. It's like it's forced. Like there's
Right.
bits of it where you know it's meant to be funny, but you're not laughing. You get this is a comedy, but you're just staring at it. You're not laughing with it. And I think it's because everyone's far too beautiful. You can't, if you've got someone silly looking, it's funnier. But everyone's
Yeah.
too beautiful. It's
Oh, beautiful.
it doesn't make sense, But Glenn Powell's really good because he's. Have you seen? Everyone's seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
He
the
plays
guy.
the asshole. He plays the nasty character in that. At
That's
first.
it. Yeah. What's his name in it? Hangman. So he played Hangman
yeah.
in Top Gun, and I thought he was good in that, but such a dickhead as well.
Yeah, he plays but again, a good actor, because if he plays a
Yeah. And then in this film, he plays like a very sweet. Everyone thinks he's. I don't use this term, but it's what they use in the film. But a fuck boy. But he's not. He's like sweet and gentle and nice and friendly, and he's very likable in this film. And I think the second half of it gets better.
I've got a
Nothing.
question.
Well, there was a thing behind the
Talking
scenes
about-
where she was where she gets bitten with a real spider. They had like a real spider on set.
Yes. And it was one
And
of those big fuckers as well.
Yeah, and they
Did she get
released
superpowers?
that footage of behind the scenes, because she says, take it off, it's really getting me.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're fine, haha. And they thought it was all like she was just like acting, and then she ended up getting like loads of bite marks from this fucking huge spider.
What was the spider as well? Because it's what's the name of it? It's a massive spider.
Yeah, it's fucking scary, man. Yeah, they've got a really
Charlotte?
strange name, I think. It's not Charlotte's Web.
No, well, the funny thing is as well. Again, I just read it today. Is that when the spider bit Sydney Sweeney, the crew obviously filmed it and they made a little TikTok or Instagram thing.
Yeah, that was it.
and they
Yeah.
posted it, but they joked saying "Spider Woman," ha 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 ha, not knowing that she had been cast in Madam Web at that time.
Madam Web, yeah.
So it was like
That's quite fortuitous, man, because she was talking about she's now been bitten by a spider in real life, and in that film she starts coming down from the ceiling, hanging on a web, like, so it's.
Where's that web coming
It
from?
was a redback spider, whatever that. It can be life-threatening. The bite will cause severe pain, sweating, vomiting, difficulty breathing, and muscle twitching. So was
Why
he
would you
pretty
make that on
serious?
set?
I'm not surprised he was shouting like, "It's biting me!"
Can you
Huh?
imagine that being an actor being like, "You just put this on your hand? Would it kill me?" Could do. It's like, wait, what? Question though.
They were
Talking
like,
about
"Why are we
comedies.
filming this scene last? Just in case you
Yeah.
die."
Yeah, in case there's a crow
Oh.
situation.
And
we
during that
accidentally kill
scene,
you.
next to her, Glenn Powell was 100% naked, just standing there for God knows how many hours filming that scene. And that boy is stacked. I mean, everyone's stacked in this film.
Kev, you talk about comedy
Yeah.
then. When was the last legit good comedy film you saw? Like, as in a legit good comedy?
Uh,
And I'm talking like good stuff like Step Brothers, Bridesmaids, that sort of comedy that are like legendary.
cracking film. I mean, you're on about a recent film, because obviously I watched
The
Overboard
most
with...
the most recent comedy I can think
was
of is
80s.
about 4 or 5 years old.
You think it's super bad?
I can't think.
No, that's like 10 years old. That's quality. You wouldn't get away with doing that anymore.
Oh my God, I haven't... No.
You don't get good comedy. The
don't
last
know.
good
And then
comedy
you
I
guys-
saw was James Franco and Why Him. That was so funny because it had the guy from Key and Peele in as well, and it's just hilarious when he just keeps jumping out,
Have you seen
like, out of the
the
trees and
scene
things.
where he's in the toilet?
Oh
Have
yeah,
you seen the scene where he's in the
main
toilet?
boy
Like,
from Key and
you can
Peele's
watch
there with the
that on
iPad,
YouTube.
just like he's like, bear with me 2 minutes. Sorry.
You can watch that
Sploosh.
when he
It's
just
like,
comes down in slow
sploosh.
motion next to his chin, and then Bryan Cranston's
Yeah.
trying not to laugh.
That actor, that
He's
guy,
there with his
is
trousers
so
down
funny.
on the shitter.
Some Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, he's brilliant, man. And
Have you seen it, Kev? It's so
yeah,
funny.
Bryan Cranston's like, he keeps corpsing, and he's like, no. He's like, no, I'm gonna get this. And then they go, and action, and then he's on the toilet, and the guy comes in slow motion, and he goes, and it's so funny because it feels like Walter White on the toilet trying not to.
That
Brilliant.
bit at the beginning where he gets the tattoo of the family, but they've put like Merry Christmas on it as well, on the tattoo, where he gave him the picture off the Christmas card to get tattooed on his back. And he's like, they put Merry Christmas on there? Fuck. And he's got that moose in like piss, hasn't he? Like the art piece. It's like a moose in a massive tank of piss. It's the dumbest film. It's so funny though.
Mate, that film is so funny. It is brilliant.
Bryan Cranston's in Argylle as well, just to bring it to that.
Oh, nice.
Plays a bad guy, very good in it. But I'm just having a
I
quick...
like Bryan.
I just Googled comedy 2023 just to remind myself what I had seen, because I couldn't think of any. I saw Some
Probably nothing
Otherhood,
funny.
which is like a British comedy. It wasn't very good.
That's like a kind
Barbie,
of like
that was funny.
Some Otherhood is kind of like a what's it
It's
called? A piss
rubbish.
take of adulthood and kidulthood, isn't it? What do they call them?
Yeah, but
When there's a film
it
that's
could
a
have been
piss
good,
take
and
of
it just...
an original film.
You know what?
Like
You know who was
Spaceballs.
good in that? You know who was good in
Satirical,
that?
was it?
No, in Some Otherhood. Who's the singer? The ginger singer. My balls
Sheeran.
don't smell like
Ed
a
Sheeran.
Yes.
Ed Sheeran.
He pops up in that film, and it's the best thing in that film. But have
He's
you
in
seen
Game of Thrones,
Renfield?
bringing that back round as well. Remember
Oh, yeah,
Ed
loads
Sheeran
of
in Game
people
of
popped up
Thrones?
in that. Have you? Yeah. Have you seen Renfield though?
Why does that ring a bell, man?
That's
Oh,
the
no, that's the vampire
the guy
one.
from Skins, isn't it? The vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nicholas Hoult.
That was funny. That was brilliant. He beats the crap out of people. He tears his limbs off and starts beating them around the head with it. That was funny.
Yeah, I always find that slapstick's the only option now with stuff. It's like they
That's
can't
great.
do
That's a great
legit.
film. I absolutely pissed myself.
That was not as good as I hoped, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
So funny. But wait,
you-
the bit where she's fully naked on the beach and she runs over and kicks the crap out of those two people.
Yeah, suplex, like throws him over her shoulder or something.
I watching the In-Betweeners, and that's
Great.
really cool. And I
actually,
know
that's
that
a
was a
very
boat.
good comedy.
Right?
That was a boat I missed many.
Well, you did-
It's old school, man.
Well, you didn't watch this. You didn't watch the series.
Yeah, no, we're only just watching the series now. I watched
Oh
the
my
film,
What, the
God.
In-Betweeners?
but it's genius. No,
Where
I'm
have you
just
been?
saying.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm just saying
Great.
that when
If
you
you ever
watch
treat
comedies
yourself to
and
something
you literally, if
awful.
you're drinking, you literally spit your drink across the, wherever you are because it's so funny. Do you know what I mean?
The American
And it was
version
the
is
same
so
with
bad.
Friends.
You're only just
Yeah,
It's
watching
like you
Friends.
can't. No, man, no. I'm saying that, like, with Friends, when you watch an episode of Friends, you laugh like every 20 seconds. It's just so funny.
I literally
The 10
finished
points
watching
was
Friends
Chandler's
last
job.
month when Matthew Perry died in November. We started watching Friends from the beginning and just finished it early January. We watched every single episode, all 237, I think it is.
Yeah.
Every episode, and it was brilliant, timeless. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing that Joey did that was, I assumed that Joey might say something inappropriate because he's type of his character that wouldn't be acceptable these days. Nothing. Everything was fine. Nothing. Right. So go back to the question about comedy. Did anyone see Joyride?
No, show me the picture. I just see Saltburn. That's all I can see. No.
Joyride. That was a good one.
No.
And The Family Plan, which is on Apple, if you've got that was good. But the
Bad
best
Moms
comedy,
Christmas
one of the best comedy. Have you seen Cocaine Bear?
No.
It's based on a true story, isn't it?
No.
Yeah,
No,
it's
Cocaine
based
was
on a true
and a
story.
bear had it, and that was the end. If it had
Yeah,
as
fair
much
enough.
as the film, it would be dead. But yeah, it goes
True,
on a
that's-
rampage.
yeah, that's true.
It's funny. It's very,
Bad
very
Moms
good.
Christmas I watched the other day, and that's actually hilarious. That's really underrated comedy film, I think, and an all-female cast.
Who? What film?
Bad Moms Christmas. Bad Moms Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So is the original Bad Mums, but it's obviously older, and it's basically a 99%, 95% female cast. Mila Kunis is very good in comedies, like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Get Him to the Greek.
Definitely.
That was a good one, though.
That
That was
Yeah, very
hilarious.
good.
That was
That
so
was brilliant.
ridiculous, that
With
movie.
Russell Brand and Jonah Hill.
And what
Russell
was the
Brand's a
rapper in it
very
again?
good Puff Daddy.
Oh, yeah,
When
the
he's
rapper.
chasing him.
Oh, God.
Sean
You've got an after
Combs,
minute.
Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy, yeah,
or
P.
Sean
Diddy.
Combs,
P.
that's
Diddy.
his name
P.
too.
Diddy.
Or P. Diddy, or Diddy. Yeah, he actually
Yeah,
running
I said
after
Sean
me down the
Combs
street.
first. How did I remember his real name first, and then went Puff Daddy? Right, shall we go into episode 2? That was a lovely
Yeah,
episode 1.
Should we decide what we want to
Do you
talk about?
not have a
first?
sign off, though? Do you not have a sign off?
Well, you're meant to create some music, aren't you?
This
where
is
is
the
it?
section
Like
where
some
we
music.
blame each other.
Where is it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Right, well, thank you guys. That was lovely.
We hope you can be asked to come back for the next episode.
Where we'll be
Oh, so-
slagging
wait a
off
minute.
everyone
Oh.
who's strangers again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes. Delightful. Right. See you next time.